It has been far, far too long and we have a lot to catch up on, so let's get ready together. If you have followed me for a while, then you know that I was a teacher up until this past May, and in May I left my teaching job, had my baby, and in June, my husband and I moved to a new city. That being said, there's obviously been a lot of change in my life recently. Basically, all these big life changes have happened at once, and it has just been a lot. I've handled it much better than I thought I would. I am still working. My husband's family has a business, and so I'm working for them and just doing a lot of administrative stuff so that I'm able to keep going. It is such a blessing for me to be able to stay with him, and I know that. But it is kind of challenging because I feel like I sort of have that title of stay-at-home mom because we are home a lot and I'm with him all day, but I am still working and I have tasks that I have to do for work. On top of that, I obviously make content, and unfortunately content has just kind of like taken the back seat a lot of times, and I don't want it to be like that, but life has just seemed a little bit impossible lately. A lot of it is honestly just having Bowen with me, and it's really hard to do when I'm taking care of him if my husband's not here to help. All that being said, there's just a lot of adjustment going on over here, and I'm just figuring out a lot of things as I go, and it's kind of taking longer than I thought to get in a groove of things, but that's okay. Speaking of Bowen, when he was probably 2 months old, he started having like a really good first stretch at night. He would sleep 6 to 7 hours. He'd wake up once to eat, and then he would go back to sleep for the rest of the night. We are very, very far from that sleeping situation now. He is 4.5 months old now, and I would say for the last 6 weeks we have been struggling. It gets worse every night now. There are some times where he gives us 2 hours, but there are some parts of the night where I lay him back down dead asleep and he is awake again in 15 minutes or 30 minutes. To be honest, it's gotten really hard mentally. I don't feel like I struggled that much with any postpartum depression or anxiety, which is such a blessing. And I honestly wasn't that sleep deprived when he was a newborn. Obviously you're tired, but the phase that we are in right now is by far the hardest part of his life that we have been through so far. I'm hoping the end is in sight though, because next week we are starting to sleep train him. If you have negative comments about that, just keep them to yourself. First of all, not all sleep training is just letting them cry and cry until they pass out. Second of all, I'd be being a worse mom if I continued on as tired as I am every day. I am not the best version of myself. I'm not the best mom I know I can be. I'm not as patient or attentive or loving as I know I can be. I want to get back to that version of myself for me, for my baby, for my husband. I am just not my best self right now, and I am really struggling, and I know that sleep training is literally the only thing that is going to fix the situation at this point. So anyway, here we are. I'm honestly like dreading sleep training because I know that those first few nights will be hard, but I'm also really excited because I just really need to do this for my mental health. I digress. Moving on. Braden, my husband's brother, is getting married this weekend, which is so exciting. We have some of his family from out of town staying with us, which is so exciting. We've never hosted before in our home, so we're excited for that. But at the same time, I do feel like it's one more thing that I need to mentally take care of. So there's just a lot going on in my brain right now. I'm also a bridesmaid in the wedding, and Braden is obviously a groomsman. So this weekend is gonna be very busy, but I'm also so excited. So obviously on one end of the spectrum, we have a very fun event this weekend, but then on the literal opposite end of the spectrum, on my side of the family, we had a death. So in just the next 3 days, we have a visitation and a funeral, we have a family dinner, the rehearsal dinner, the wedding, all the things. It's so ironic how there's like a start of a new life for two people together, and then also we are like celebrating the life of someone else who's no longer with us. It's just a weird time. Moving on to very like random things that have been on my mind lately. I did not realize how much I was going to miss my podcasts whenever I had a baby. Podcasts and music. I was the biggest podcast music girly, you know. Every time we're in the car, I have on like kid music to keep Bowen happy because he's not the biggest fan of the car. So I'm just really not listening to music or podcasts that much. I'm missing the Biofiles. I'm missing my What We Said Girls. I'm missing just music in general. And now I'm kind of talking about the more lighthearted things that change about your life once you become a mom. But at the same time, I am just still grappling with a lot. You know your life is going to change, but you can't really like fathom it until it does. Obviously, as a woman, a lot of that change is physical, and it's been hard. I think clothes are a big part of it for me. I obviously like to look cute like every girl does, but most of my old clothes don't fit me the same. I don't want to go spend a bunch of money on new clothes. And when I am looking for new clothes, I'm ordering or trying stuff on in store. I don't like what I'm finding. I don't know, I'm just trying to give myself grace and remind myself that this is not a one size fits all, no pun intended, process, and that the postpartum physical situation looks different for every woman. There's no right or wrong for how I should or should not be looking at this point. I started working out around 2.5 months postpartum, and so that kind of can be frustrating too, but I'm just trying to remind myself that the point of me working out is to be healthy and make my mind feel good, not so that I can lose weight. If you made it this far, drop me a little red heart in the comments, and thank you for watching this far. I told y'all we had a lot to catch up on. Thank you for sticking with me through this crazy season of life, especially those of you that have been here since I was teaching, and my content has clearly changed a lot. So if you're still here, I appreciate you more than you know. Bye.